Scotland, 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 land of ancient mystery, land of beautiful mountains, noble stags wandering on picturesque landscapes, land of rugged Highland kilted people, shortbread, heart disease and smack. Look, right? Shut up. I'm sorry. It started off well, that, didn't it? It started off really well. And then I kind of ran out of options and tailed off. But our next act isn't going to do that, ladies and gentlemen. And not only that, he's a jock. That's what we call a link. How about that? It was an incredible piece of linkage. Please welcome, with your applause, with your hands, Stephen Carlin!
Thank you very much. Good evening. Nice to be here in this beautiful theatre tonight. Does contrast a bit my first ever time on stage. I was in a school nativity play. I was 5 years old. Played the part of Joseph in my school nativity. Joseph Stalin. Unfortunately, I was a bit of a method actor in those days. So one or two of my classmates did die. Needlessly. Anyway, let's not dwell on the crimes of Joseph Stalin this evening. I thought we'd kick off with a topic closer to my heart, and that topic is hurricanes in America. Because probably like me, you've been looking forward to the new hurricane season. In America, not just to witness the destruction, obviously that plays a major role, but also to see which names the Americans will give their hurricanes this year. God bless Americans, they love to name hurricanes, don't they? Things like Hurricane Katrina, Hurricane Rita, Hurricane Wilma, and I think it's good customer service. Nice personal touch. We don't bother naming weather systems in Britain, do we? Oh no, in Britain we tend to say things like, oh, remember those high winds? That time. Not on balance quite as good a system as the American system. I reckon the Americans will come a cropper with this system of naming hurricanes, because at some point in the near future they're going to name a hurricane Hurricane Higgins. That's right, inadvertently naming it after the 2 times Embassy World Snooker Champion of the world, Alex Hurricane Higgins. You know, there'll be reports on CNN saying things like, last night Hurricane Higgins devastated large parts of downtown Orlando. I'm going to be sitting home thinking, well, glad to see he's got over his throat cancer. And he's back to his old tricks again. So that's a nice aspect of American culture. I think the worst aspect of American culture, though, must be America's over-reliance on superheroes instead of more conventional emergency services. And this came to mind just over a year ago when there was that fire in the Fields Depot in Hemel Hempstead. Buncefield Fields Depot fire, largest fire in peacetime Europe. What did we do in Britain? We got the fire brigade to put that out using foam. Now, very similar situation occurred in the documentary Superman 3. When an oil refinery caught fire. Now, how did the Americans tackle that, Blaze? What did they do? Well, they got Superman to fly to a lake, freeze that lake with his breath. I don't know how, I thought breath was hot, but it worked. Picked that lake up as one sheet of ice with no regard to any of the wildlife living in that lake whatsoever. I'm the last survivor of the planet Krypton. I will defend the human race. I've got no interest in the wider ecosystem. Took that ice, flew to the refinery with it, dropped it on the fire. Now, I was only 7 years old when I was in Superman 3, and even I knew at that age that you don't put water on an oil fire. What Superman should have done, of course, was to get a giant tea towel, 3 miles wide by 3 miles wide, to dip it in the lake, wring it out so it's just damp but not dripping wet, and then carefully place that over the oil refinery until the fire was extinguished. But I suppose the concept of a giant tea towel the size of an oil refinery is too ridiculous, even for a Superman film. Well, actually, I was in New York recently, and I was expecting them to be really tough and gritty, but you know, when someone commits suicide on the New York subway, they're extremely euphemistic about it. They won't say the word suicide. They'll say things like, the A train is suspended at the moment between 49th Street and 59th Street due to a problem with the track. There's kind of debris on the track. There's a thing on the track. We'll clear it up. It'll be fine. That's how they deal with a suicide. Now compare that to the London Underground, where they cannot wait to tell you that someone's committed suicide. It's a badge of honour. They're fighting over the microphone in the office. Here, Nigel, I'll do it. Ladies and gentlemen, the Central Line is suspended in both directions at the moment because of a person under a train. Now, few people realise this. Glasgow, where I'm from, has got an underground system, the third oldest underground system in the world. It's a tiny little system, one circle. You can't even stand fully erect in the carriages. It would be physically impossible to commit suicide on the Glasgow Underground. At worst, you'd come away with a sprained ankle. Ladies and gentlemen, the Glasgow Underground is currently suspended because someone has spilled a packet of toffees on your track. Glasgow Fire Brigade are currently in attendance with a special toffee incident control unit. Just get all that toffee off the track. You know, 'cause it might become sticky. If the fluff will start sticking to it, you know, like, really naff, might jeopardise our bid for the 2014 Commonwealth Games. And let's face it, if a Glaswegian wants to commit suicide, they don't throw themselves in front of a train. They basically maintain their current lifestyle and dietary choices. I don't want too much into racial stereotypes. I'm Scottish. I like drinking whiskey, like getting hammered on whiskey. You know, I like the way it makes you feel a bit dizzy, start banging into furniture. I like the... You know, I like the way you can slur your speech. I like the way that at 3 in the morning, you can be standing at a bar with a complete stranger discussing how tomorrow you will set up a company together. So, actually, I came down to London in 2003, and I was working as an office temp at the time. Yeah, that's right, living the dream. And at the end of 2003, I was awarded Temp of the Year. At first, I thought it was a compliment myself, you know, I thought, that's nice, and then I started to think about it and realised, wait a minute, what these people are actually saying is, well, Steve, out of all the people not good enough to employ on a permanent basis, of all the people not entitled to holiday pay that I'd gladly sack at the drop of a hat, you are the best. You know, stick in, work hard, because if you do really well, eventually you could rise to the level of being the worst of our permanent employees. Now, I've got to confess to you, I've been phoning quite a lot of chat lines recently. These sort of adult chat lines. You may have seen them advertised late night on Channel 5, saying things like, our gorgeous girls are ready and waiting to take your call. Call them now. Talk to them about anything you want. So I phoned up and said, all right then. Why don't you cast your mind back to the 1982 Embassy World Snooker semi-final? Jimmy White versus Alex Higgins. Now, we all know Higgins won that match. But tell me this, in your view, who had the better safety game? Didn't even know. Well, obviously not quite as good as you thought you were. Suggest you want to make it in the call-line business. Suggest you learn to discuss a more varied range of topics. You hussy. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been lovely. Thank you very much. That's all from me this evening. I'm Stephen Carlin. Good night. Cheers.